We're keeping it small this year. No room for extras, my mom said over speakerphone while stirring something in the background. I was in the carpool lane, holding grocery bags on my lap, nodding like she could see me. Of course. Totally understand, I said. I hung up and smiled for my kids in the rearview mirror, then turned away so they wouldn't see my hand shaking. That night, we baked cookies anyway, wrapped presents with dollar store paper, hung stockings on the radiator. I told them Santa always finds us, even in apartments with peeling paint. They believed me. I almost did too, until the morning of December 25th. My phone lit up. Photos. My brother's wife had posted them with fake casual captions like, "So blessed" and "Just family this year." But the background told the truth. A house full of people. The dining room overflowing. Not just immediate family, but neighbors, her college roommate, her dog groomer, even the UPS guy who dropped by. And my kids? They waited by the door in their holiday pajamas. Kept checking the empty hallway. Maybe Santa forgot our floor, my daughter whispered. That's when I snapped. Not loud. Not wild. Just quiet. Sharp. Precise. Like a paper cut to the soul. I opened my laptop. Typed in a few addresses. And clicked cancel on every single delivery headed to that house. The gourmet cake? Gone. The imported wine? Cancelled. The monogrammed gifts? Refunded. 40 minutes later, my phone rang. Mom. Sobbing. Everything's gone, Madeline. The food, the presents, why would you? I answered with a calm she wasn't ready for. Small enough now. My name is Madeline. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. What happens when you stop waiting for a seat at the table and burn the whole place setting? They wanted small. They wanted exclusive. They just didn't realize what it would cost. But they were about to learn. The silence after I hung up was louder than any Christmas carol. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like the outsider. I felt like the detonator. The group chat lit up like a bonfire. Mom. The cake delivery never showed. Brother. Where's the bourbon from Napa? Sister-in-law. Did someone mess with the orders? The UPS guy says they were all canceled. Mom again. Madeline, if you know anything about this. I stared at the screen, sipped my coffee, and finally typed one sentence. I'm just an extra. Remember? Left it there. Didn't wait for replies. Instead, I turned to my kids. We spent the afternoon building a pillow fort. A storm outside raged, freezing wind, no sunlight. But inside? It was warm. I cooked what I had. Watched them unwrap little gifts I'd saved all year to afford. They didn't notice the absence. They noticed the effort. But later that night, after they fell asleep, I cracked. I stood by the window, phone glowing in my palm, reading through old messages, the ones where Mom said, "You know how tight it is this year," while posting steak dinners and matching pajamas with Ava and Jack. The truth is, I was never extra. I was the babysitter, the emergency fund, the "can you take Nana to her appointment?" girl. But not this year. This year I let the storm pass. Right through them. The next day my brother called. Was it you? I didn't deny it. He went quiet, then said, Mom's in bed. She's been crying all day. I looked at the stack of unpaid bills on my counter, the cracked heater, the worn sneakers by the door, and said, she can cry once. We cry all year. He didn't answer. I hung up first, because this time, I wasn't playing the forgiving daughter. I was playing something sharper. And this was just the opening move. 3 days later, a letter arrived. Not a call. Not a text. A letter, folded neatly in my mailbox, like it hadn't been hand-delivered in the middle of the night. It was Mom's handwriting, still perfect, like she thought good penmanship could erase years of imbalance. Madeline, Christmas was never meant to be like this. You could have come. We just thought space was best. Space? Funny. They only created distance when I needed closeness, and only offered closeness when I created distance. I tucked the letter into the drawer with the others. Birthday card signed, love you, after forgetting to call. Holiday invites that came 2 days late, with a polite, "We assumed you were busy." That week, the family group chat went dead. No memes. No photos. Just an echo. Then Ava, my brother's wife, broke the silence. She posted a reel. Her kitchen dim. A fake laugh. Caption: "When Christmas gets sabotaged by petty people." It had 20 likes. Half from extended family. One from Mom. I watched it twice. Then I made a video of my own. No voice. Just visuals. My daughter unwrapping a hand-sewn doll. My son lighting a cinnamon candle with pride. Us in blankets, sipping cocoa, framed by yellow Christmas lights from the dollar bin. Caption: "When love doesn't need luxury. Just honesty." 20 likes turned to 20,000. Then 50. Then press outlets asking, "Can we feature your story of quiet resilience?" They called me the realest mom of the holidays. I didn't expect to go viral. But maybe the world was done with curated lies and ready for something raw. Mom didn't comment, but my aunt did. "Aunt Renee, they've always underestimated you. Not anymore." It was the first time someone in my bloodline had my back publicly. I screenshotted it, printed it, put it on my fridge, right next to the note my daughter wrote. "Thank you for being Christmas." That's when I knew this wasn't just revenge. It was reclamation. New Year's Eve came fast. Normally, I'd get the pity invite around 9 p.m., the one that says, "We figured you'd be alone, so." But this year, nothing. No invite. No call. Not even a mistyped Happy New Year text. Just silence. Which suited me fine. I put the kids to bed early, then sat on the fire escape with a blanket and a mug of wine, watching distant fireworks pop like fading promises. Then my phone buzzed. A DM. From Jasmine, my cousin in Oregon. We hadn't spoken in 2 years. "Hey. Just saw your video. I didn't know they treated you like that. You always made holidays feel magical when we were little. If you ever want to start over, come here. We got room. For all 3 of you." I stared at that message like it was a lifeline I didn't know I needed. Because here's the truth no one says out loud. Family can break your heart and still expect a thank you card. So I made a plan. I went through old photos, the staged family dinners, the gift exchanges where I handed out carefully chosen things and got socks in return. Then I packed 3 small boxes. Not out of anger. Out of peace. I was done trying to be what they refused to see. 2 days later, I handed my landlord the notice. 30 days. Then we were gone. I didn't tell anyone. Not my brother. Not Mom. Not even Aunt Renee. Because this wasn't a threat. It was a beginning. On the 20th day, I got a voicemail. "Mom. Voice brittle. I heard you're moving? That's ridiculous. This is your home, Madeline. You can't just erase us over one holiday." I didn't call back. I just stood there, holding the lease for our new apartment 2 states away. 3 bedrooms. Clean walls. A balcony that faced the mountains. I signed it. Because I wasn't erasing anyone. I was just drawing the final line. And this time they couldn't cross it. The family didn't realize I was serious until the group chat lit up with, "Does anyone know why Madeline's number says out of service?" By then, I was already gone. New town. New school district. New silence. Not the kind they gave me. Bitter, cold, intentional. This was warm. Peaceful. Mine. Jasmine welcomed us with open arms and stocked groceries. She didn't ask what happened. She just handed me a spare key and said, "You get to breathe here." For the first time in years, I exhaled fully. The kids adjusted fast. New friends. Snow days. No more dodging loaded questions like, "Why didn't Grandma bring you gifts this year?" Now they just ask things like, "Can we decorate the balcony with paper lanterns?" And I said yes. Then one afternoon I got the email. Subject. From Mom. It was long. Too long. Full of things like, "I never meant to hurt you. You misunderstood. You know how complicated family is." But not once did she say, "I'm sorry." Not once did she say, "We were wrong." So I left it unread. Because closure doesn't come from the people who broke you. It comes from finally choosing not to reopen the wound. That weekend, I posted a simple photo. Me and the kids under a string of backyard lights, mugs in hand, blanket around our shoulders. Caption: turns out, peace fits better than permission. Within minutes, the likes rolled in. Then, the comments. And then, the message I didn't expect. From Ava. 3 dots. Typing. Then, you really left us, huh? And I replied, for the first time in months. I didn't leave. I just stopped chasing people who only see me when they're hungry. No response. She saw it. And that was enough. Because the weight I'd carried for years, of being the extra, the convenient one, the yes person, was finally off my back. And in its place, stillness, strength, and a keychain with 3 names. Me. My son. My daughter. That was all I ever needed. It took them 2 months to realize I was really gone. Not just geographically, emotionally, spiritually. Gone from the role they assigned me. The extra. The seat filler. The you'll understand when you're older daughter. And I wasn't coming back. Then one afternoon, a package arrived. No return address. But the handwriting was unmistakable, Mom's. Inside. An old photo album. Me as a toddler, standing beside a Christmas tree. Half smile. Uneven ponytail. 1 sock missing. A note fell out. You always made holidays special. Even when we didn't. I see that now. But I didn't cry. Because I'd already mourned her. Not her body, her awareness. The part of her that should have seen me before the world applauded. My kids were watching me as I closed the album. They didn't ask who sent it. They didn't need to. They were busy drawing pictures for our neighbors, laughing over spilled markers and burnt cookies. Our house was messy, happy, full. That night, I wrote a letter of my own, not to send, to release. Dear Mom, I forgive you, but I don't belong to your orbit anymore. You chose a small circle. I built a universe. I burned it in the fireplace, watched the edges curl and turn to ash. Because sometimes the only way to keep the peace is to stop handing it to people who think it's theirs to ruin. And in this new life, I wasn't the plus one. I was the headline act, the girl who canceled Christmas and created something better, the woman who stopped begging to be seen and walked into the light alone. Not everyone gets a second chance at joy. I carved mine out of frost and silence, and I was never going back. Spring arrived like a quiet miracle. Tulips bloomed along the sidewalk. My kids ran home with skinned knees and full hearts. No calls from Mom. No texts from Ava. Just there, clean and uncluttered. Until one Sunday afternoon my phone buzzed. Unknown number. But the voice? Familiar. It's your brother, he said, almost cautious. I know things got messy, but Mom's birthday is next week. She wants to see you. The kids too. I let that hang in the air. He didn't fill the silence. Smart. Then I asked, did she ask for me? Or is she hoping for an audience? He hesitated. That's not fair. But it was. Because I'd played that game before. Smile for the cake. Pretend the couch never happened. Swallow the ache while she bragged about Ava's recipe for roasted duck. No, thank you. I won't come, I said. But you can tell her this. I hope she has a peaceful birthday. I genuinely do. But peace isn't something I owe her anymore. He exhaled. You've really changed, Madeline. I smiled. No. I just stopped being who you preferred me to be. Click. I didn't slam the phone. Didn't cry. I just picked up the grocery list, walked to the kitchen, and kept building the life they never thought I could. That night, Jasmine sent me a picture of our nameplates, side by side on the community advisory board. She added, from silence to seated, and now leading. I printed it, hung it above the coat rack, right next to the words my daughter had painted in crooked letters. Small doesn't mean invisible. They tried to shrink me, but all they did was clear the space I needed to grow. And now that I had roots, there wasn't a storm in the world that could move me. Mom finally showed up. Not in person. In pixels. She left a comment on one of my posts. The one of my kids planting sunflowers, dirt on their cheeks, joy in their bones. Looks beautiful. Maybe next year we can celebrate together. No apology. No mention of the couch. No acknowledgement of what she carved into me. Just a public olive branch, wrapped in performative grace. I didn't respond, because healing doesn't mean replying. It means knowing you could, and choosing not to. Instead, I screenshotted the comment, archived it, tucked it into a digital drawer with the others. That afternoon, I opened a brown paper envelope. The lease renewal for our apartment. I signed it with a smile. 2 years. Same space. Same peace. Then I walked to the hallway mirror. The one where my daughter had taped a drawing. A stick figure of me with a crown holding 2 small hands. Above it she'd written, Queen of our home. And suddenly, I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Mom. Not at Ava. Not even at the little girl inside me who once believed crumbs were blessings. Because I had built something solid. And quiet. And free. The deliveries they never received were nothing compared to the life I delivered to myself. And if they still whispered about me in family circles, called me cold, bitter, dramatic, good. Let them. I'd rather be remembered for saying enough than forgotten while silently staying useful. So this Christmas, there were no invites. No gifts rerouted. No tears. Just music in our kitchen. Paper lanterns. A dinner full of belly laughs and burnt pie crust. And a final toast from my daughter. To Mom, she said, who doesn't need Santa, because she brings the magic. And I raised my glass, not in spite, but in honor of every room I was excluded from that taught me how to build my own.